Pick a card, little boy. I'll take your V card. This is not how that works. Oh, you're gonna make it work. What the fuck? Hello, ladies and gentlemen! It's me, your boy, Ronico Taylor. I know you've been waiting a whole week for me, and you poor angels. You're full angels. I miss me too. Oh my god. It's me, my beautiful face. Come here. There. I'll get rid of your sadness for the remainder of the week, hopefully. Anyways, how you guys doing? It's me, your boy, Ronico Taylor again. I just want to ask, today's interview is with the band member of Bluff Street, Braden Sabin. If you aren't here from Bluff Street, you're probably here because of his multiple other bands. Bagel Steak. Just a sec. I'm gonna edit this. If you're not here from Bluff Street, you're probably here from one of his many other bands. Bluff Street, Bagel Steak, Green Counting, Flying Gorilla, the Mindies. And he probably has some other stuff that he's not even telling me. And I'm the interviewer. He's supposed to tell me stuff. I want to if you're coming here to watch him, today he told me about his life story. He told me about how does he balance all of these bands with college, being trying to find a safe career. What is the story before the famousness, and just everything in general. I hope you enjoy. So if you wanna check out other musicians that I've interviewed, life story or not, I have a playlist and down in my on the page where on my YouTube page where you can located an interview. I'm located saying musician interviews, something around that area of wording. Check it out if you want some more. If you don't, if you want something to check, I have all playlists to categorize if you want other stuff. But please subscribe. We're trying to get a big musician on. Me and my big giant team. Yeah, Robbie. All right. All right. But yeah, like we're trying to get Will Wood on. I know I said I wasn't gonna say that ever again, or at least not for a while, because it's getting a little annoying, and I don't want to say that like every single episode. But yeah, we're trying to get Will Wood on. You can see right there, there's the email. I screenshotted an email from Will Wood's manager, Suzanne, and she said if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I can get Will Wood on, or at least we can get a good chance of him. So if you want to see him and talk about his life, I'll be interviewing him about his life story and what he's working on currently, or like whatever time it is, it could be 2027 for crying out loud, but 2020 or 2028 now. I'm still adjusting to the years. It could be 2028 for crying out loud. But we could make it 2020. We could make it by the end of the year if you get subscribe, like, and go into Spotify. My heart just won't delete. My heart won't delete Spotify for some reason. But without further ado, I gotta do some editing, so you get to watch. The new interview. I don't know what to say after that, so you guys go do your thing. Get a bottle of popcorn and some sugary snacks. Have some diabetes on the side, and you can watch. You have a good freaking Wednesday. I'm crying.
It's called a Manic Episode, and you're getting 3 more seasons.
Yeah, I forgot about you, Spotify listeners. We love you. That's for the road.
Don't with me. Stay away from my man, bitch, or I'll whoop your sorry hoe ass back to last year.
3, 2. Okay, we're good. Thanks.
Thanks, Braden. I said that right, Braden, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm glad to get personal one-on-one.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First question that I wanted to ask was back in August. You mentioned how your dad this maybe when he's been playing music since you were a kid, and that's probably subconsciously how he picked it up. Did he play big?
Well, he plays. He's got his own band with my aunt and stuff going. That I'm also. Whenever I'm home, I mess around with that. But he right now doesn't play as much as he used to. He actually moved out to Virginia with his band, which is where he met my mom. And he did some pretty notable things, I guess. He played at Lollapalooza. He played he met the guy, I don't know if you know Local H, but he met the main guy, Scott Lucas, and he played with him, and also one of the guys from Cheap Trick, I think. Can't remember which one, but yeah. So he did some cool things, but yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of living around that. That's kind of you. I'm just gonna say the Brady Bunch experience. You guys that's kind of how that was the main reason why you lived around it, so you kind of picked it up a little bit.
I lived around it, but honestly, apart from him teaching me basics of playing and stuff, I kind of pretty much right away started branching off into my own. He's got a very specific taste, I guess, in music that he listens to and plays, and the style he does. And even though I do music, I have a very different style from him. I listen to a lot. He kind of listens to a lot of '90s alternative, and I like a good amount of that stuff. But it's not my only. It's not my only thing. I like a lot more folk music, and I like the Beach Boys and whatever. But so I wouldn't say it's entirely I get it from my dad, and then it just transferred immediately over to me. I think I just picked up on the music thing, and I started doing my own, getting into my own stuff, and being interested in my own parts of it, I guess.
So it wasn't solely he's the reason you are today, not at least in that sense.
He's definitely not the sole reason. I never picked it up because I was I want to be just like my dad, or it wasn't something like that. It was just I don't know. It just seemed to interest me. Just one day, I was just randomly, I want to play the guitar, and then once I actually started finding music that I liked, I started listening to Nirvana and stuff, and that Nirvana and Green Day, Weezer, and that kind of inspired me to actually want to learn how to play the songs that I liked.
What would you say your childhood growing up, and when I say childhood, when you're thinking back to school years and just when you're growing up in general, what was that you think? What kind of experience was that?
I live in a pretty small house, so that's kind of, we live in a condo, and I've lived in a condo my whole life. So that's kind of definitely had something to do with the way I grew up, because there weren't a lot of kids in my area, so I never really got to play with. There were a couple actually that I met and played with or whatever, but I live here in Carroll Stream, Illinois. I went to school in Roselle at a private school because my grandma is Catholic and she wanted me to go to a Catholic school. I'm also Catholic, obviously, but yeah, so I don't know. I never really got to go over to anybody's house or anything. So I was kind of a more independent kid, I guess, for the first, I don't know, for a good while until I was 14. Then I started I don't know, branching out. But I was kind of shy and independent, and I didn't really have a lot of friends, I guess, that I would hang out with outside of school. I would have acquaintances at school, but it was never really that deep.
Now, do you think that kind of created the person you are today? Like, what kind of person were you growing up? Like, obviously, you seem like you're decent, but like, what would you describe yourself as?
I mean, I was a little reserved as a kid, but I've gotten out of my shell ever since high school, and like late middle school. I would like to say, I don't know what kind of person I am. I try to help people. I'm very, if someone asks me to do something for them, I'll do my best to do it. I'm also very, it's very hard for me to say no to things anyways. So both of those things combined is like my grandparents will ask me like, hey, you want to come over and help us clean out the basement? Is that something I really I want to do on my winter break, and not necessarily, but it's my grandparents and I'd like to help them out. And it's a nice thing to do, so I'll do that. If someone asks me to give them a hand or something, or to do something for them, I usually will. And sometimes that gets in the way because I double schedule things, because I'm instead of being realistic and being well, I don't want to do two things in one day because then I'll have to run around or whatever, and I'll have to do a lot of driving. I'll just be like, oh, whatever, I'll just do a lot of driving. So that kind of comes to a detriment to me that I always say yes to everything, because it means I'm usually pretty late to a lot of things, and I have a lot of things on my plate to handle. Hence why I'm in 5 bands.
Yeah, and that I definitely want to talk about later. Julian mentioned it as well as your bandmate Riley talked about it, and it still blows my mind. I can't I know people do multiple bands, but still five bands, that still is it blows my mind. So I definitely want to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Are you still on break? Just curious.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna drive back to UNI tomorrow. And then on Tuesday classes start, but school doesn't start till Tuesday.
You had established you were kind of quiet. You were a quiet kid basically. But were there any important moments in the past, were the high school years the best, the kid years, what do you hold most valuable about your life, you think?
I have a lot of good memories with my sister. Me and my sister were very close. We're she's 4 years younger than me, but pretty much ever since, we've been best friends my whole life, me and my sister. So we're very close, and I'm very happy that I have that relationship, because I know some people don't really know their siblings very well because there's a big age gap or something. I also have very fond memories of the band 3 and Counting that I'm in right now. I met those guys because I went to school with Peter Nowakowski, and we did something for a talent show. Our teacher asked us if we would like to get together, because he played drums and I played bass in the church band, and he asked us to get together with a group of other guys and girls and perform I don't know, I think it was Country Roads or something. But Peter's brother Jacob ended up asking me to come stay and jam, and I have a lot of memories of hanging out. That's how 3 and Counting started. Ever since then, we were basically a band, and that was fun. I have a lot of memories of us hanging out and doing stuff and just jamming and getting better as musicians, because we were all kind of new.
So you were starting, but not but you were in maybe the middle ground of starting?
Yeah, we knew how to play our instruments, but we were learning how to actually play them well, I guess, with feel and stuff.
I did look up, and I listened to some of the 3 and Counting music. Is that the reason why you kind of stuck to country music?
If I had never hung out with those guys and formed. I didn't form the band. I kind of basically joined them because they're brothers. But if I didn't join them and hang out with them, I would definitely not be into as much like country and folk and bluegrass and whatever. So that's where I get a lot of that stuff from. But I mean, I like a ton of other genres too. I like listen to everything, but that's kind of where the country aspect of my musical, I don't know, career comes
Your
from.
musical journey.
Yeah, my musical journey.
I know you said your dad wasn't really like he was, but he wasn't the reason you picked it up. But so I'm curious, where did the interest come from? You think, like, if you could take me back?
Yeah, it started with guitar. I really wish there was like a real reason or something in my head. But basically, when I was 9, I was just hanging out in my grandparents' basement. My dad was, I was probably just hanging out with him because he has a little studio in my grandparents' basement and he mixes and records stuff there. And I was just going through my grandpa's old stuff and there was like a little acoustic guitar. And I was just like, wouldn't it be cool if I could play something on here? And I just picked it up. And that's pretty much where it all started. There was no like bigger motivation, like I want to be like somebody, at least at that point. It was just kind of happened. It was kind of like whatever, this is something I kind of do, I guess, until I, like I said, like really started getting into listening to music, like Nirvana, Weezer, and Green Day is what started me off, and then it inspired me to like actually want to learn the songs. And then later I got into the Beatles and the Beach Boys and Bob Dylan and everybody else I listened to, the Police. I didn't start playing bass. I mean, I was messing around with it just because I think I didn't want to just limit myself to guitar. I wanted to do everything because Johnny Greenwood, the guy from Radiohead, he plays like everything. He plays like keys and guitar and stuff. So I wanted to play everything. And I just picked up the bass, but it wasn't until I joined 3 and Counting that I actually got good at it, but eventually it clicked, and yeah, and then piano and drums and everything else I play, I'm not like the best at, but I'm trying, and I'm kind of just self-taught on those.
Do you classify yourself as a music snob?
I try not to be snobby, but I probably am. Probably am a music snob. Definitely a music nerd.
Do you have a favorite band or like a song?
Beatles are my favorite band. I don't know if I have a favorite song ever. I've been listening to a lot of Zeppelin though, a lot of Led Zeppelin.
Would you say you like identify, like what kind of music would you say you go in? Because like over a few bands you're in, they're all different styles. Like, is there a style you personally would identify with?
In general, I would just say like pop music. I just like pop music, but not like, I don't know. I don't play like, I don't know. I guess like pop in the pop rock sense. I like playing all kinds of stuff. I like playing soul. I like playing country guitar. I can't play jazz very well, but I like jazz chords. I would say my style is more like, I guess like indie rock and maybe a little bit of like country. I try to do like some Dire Straits like stuff, like Mark Knopfler on the guitar.
Does music ever like overwhelm you? Because 5 bands, you're doing the same routine, but like 5 times in a row, like for probably every single week, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, 3 and Counting and the Mindies kind of don't exist when I'm not at. I mean, they don't really. I don't do anything if I'm not in my hometown. The Mindies, I only practice with them whenever I'm home and I want to. Pretty much, it's a very casual thing. And 3 and Counting, we kind of just record stuff, and we're all very busy, so we kind of get together like every 3 months, and we record stuff or we'll discuss things. We're trying to get a show in April So keep an eye out for that. So those two aren't very overwhelming at all because it's very relaxed and kind of just whenever you get the time for it. But Flying Gorilla, Bluff Street, and Bagel Steak, balancing those with, I mean, I definitely bit off more than I can chew by taking all of them, but I do my best to juggle it, and sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, but it's definitely worth it because playing is really fun. I always get back on my feet if I get like overwhelmed with stuff, so it all works out in the end.
How do you balance your time?
I mean, yeah, it can get overwhelming if it's like I don't know. I have a lot of like stuff in my personal life to juggle, and then I have to get all the schoolwork done, and then I have to like apply for a job or something. And I also have to go to practice for Bluff Street Bagel Steak once a week, and then do like a gig or 2 or 3 over the weekend. What's exhausting actually the most is driving, just because I don't know, you just got to drive to places to play, and it gets exhausting to drive all the time, and especially if it's like a gig far away, it feels like you're not making any money because you have to buy gas. But I'm in it for the fun. I mean, I earn a little bit of money on the side, and that's good. But music is great, and I live for playing it. And yeah, I don't know. I just do my best to. I don't practice a ton for like a lot of stuff. I mean, at this point, like we've been playing very often in all of the bands, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Like I have to learn like 14 songs by Friday or whatever. Like if we have a set list and I know it, and if we add a new song or two to the set list, we'll learn it, or we'll go over it at practice and we'll work it out. So it doesn't really feel like something that stresses me out too bad, I guess.
So you just try to treat it as like a casual thing when you're home?
Yeah, I mean, this might be bad to say, but I just don't practice a ton. I probably should practice more, but we do have practices with the bands, so I focus on the band when I go to the practice, and I do my best to learn it and get it down. If it's really tricky, I'll go home with it, but usually it's just like, okay, I got it at practice, we're fine for the gig. And so it doesn't really feel like it bleeds into like my schoolwork time, I guess, too much. But yeah, I don't know.
I know it just kind of goes into like where we were talking about who you are in the beginning. But do you see yourself anyway, maybe outside like the realm of music, possibly? Because like music, and from like what I can tell, like it is kind of. It seems like, I don't want to say your life, but you seem like you do take it seriously.
Definitely, yeah. If I would say, if it's not my life, it's definitely the thing I'm like absolutely the most passionate about. But I mean, I'm going to UNI for an accounting degree. I'm going to get a CPA. So that is the way things will go if I take the safe route, and I just pursue accounting. That's kind of the career goal I have. Yeah, so accounting is the safe route, I guess, and music is like the risky route. And I guess we'll see what it looks like when I graduate, because I want to get my degree before I just like abandon everything and like music is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna stick to that. I think what realistically I'll do is I'll get my degree, I'll get my CPA, and if there's a job lined up for accounting that really looks good, then I'll take that. And if there's an opportunity lined up for bands that look really good, I'll take that, and I'll just see what happens when the time comes.
maybe the glitchiness, like maybe you already told me, and you like the glitchiness kind of covered it up. But if you wouldn't mind like telling me like what made you choose accounting, like we already like I know you said music isn't like your life, but like what that's like they're kind of separate ends of the spectrum. If you at least ask me, like Julian, like he loves drumming, but he wants to have the safe route. He said that's why he decides to go in to be like a personal trainer and stuff like that. Like, is that kind of the same route for you, or what is it?
Yeah, I think you need something to fall back on,
Yeah.
you know, realistically. Julian actually was an accounting major and he switched.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know on the last one out of the two of us to stay with this, but accounting I chose because I feel like math comes pretty easy to me, and I kind of figured that's the best way to apply that skill and earn a lot of money directly out of college. Because if you graduate and get a CPA like immediately, you can make a lot more money than if you just like graduated with like a business analytics degree or became a teacher or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you could eventually build to make more money, but you earn a lot of money right off the bat with an accounting degree.
Other than accounting being just a safe route, is like music doesn't end up being your life more than just playing casually. Is that like what you want to end up doing for the rest of your life? Maybe just working accounting, or what is your life plan if you have thought that far?
I would honestly like to give music a full go. If the opportunity presents itself and there's a really good job lined up for accounting, then I'll take that and run with it. I guess we'll just see what happens. But I would be perfectly happy with making a lot of money as an accountant and then just doing music as a side gig and being, you know, secure. But it's fun to think that music could work out, and I think it could, but it just needs to be the right opportunity at the right time, and yeah.
Do you think which one's more like which one is the better bet, money or happiness?
I think because accounting, I won't be like, I don't think I'll hate it. I mean, we'll see if like further on. I'm only a sophomore right now, but if by like junior year it's like, wow, I could never do this for my whole life. This really sucks. Accounting feels like something I could do my whole life and be somewhat happy with. Like I won't be miserable doing it. And I'll be happy outside of, I mean, just 8 hours a day, you know, whatever. But I think doing music full time would be the most fulfilling thing. I mean, really, but you know, it's a big risk, and it might not be the best decision. And it really only works out if everything aligns perfectly.
With kind of looking forward through all the bands, casual or not, like how old were you in your first band?
So 3 and counting. When I joined the two brothers, I was like 14. It was like 2019, 2020. I was like 13 or 14. I've been in bands for like 5 years, I guess. But yeah, so I joined that when I was like 13 or 14. The Mindies, I joined shortly after that. Well, because that was just my dad and my relatives getting together and being like, hey, let's do this for fun. And then I also joined in. And then everything else, Flying Gorilla, Bluff Street, and Bagel Steak, that all happened within like the last school year. Like Flying Gorilla, I joined November of like 2024, and then everything else I joined next winter, or in the winter.
So that was like just very recent. Bagel Steak and Bluff Street.
Well, at this point, it's been about
2 years.
been about a year with both. It's been a year with Bluff Street by the time I go back, because we started last January. And Bagel Steak we started last February 2025.
Do you have a favorite band out of the 5 or like 3, whatever you want to count as?
I feel like I'd be betraying any of the other ones if I said. But I will say that Bagel Steak's got an EP coming up really, really soon. So it's like getting mixed like right now. It's almost done. Keep an eye out for that.
But kind of connecting like with college in the beginning. I believe you said you live in the Chicago, Illinois, the suburbs of Chicago. Am I right? You're there right now, right?
Yep, I'm in Carroll Stream, Illinois.
How come you don't live like that's a little 2 hours out of Iowa? How come you don't how come you don't like live somewhere closer when or is it do you live here in Iowa for college, or like what? How come you don't live closer?
I live on campus when school isn't. I'm getting an apartment with my friends in June, so I will be kind of permanently in the Cedar Falls area. But I don't know. I grew up out here, and you and me coming there is a kind of complicated and long story. But basically, I kind of just wanted to be able to like have a complete fresh start, I guess. And they had a really good accounting degree. I just kind of wanted to get away from everything around here and just try something totally new. And out of all the schools that offered, like the three that I was considering were Western Michigan, UNI, and Illinois State ISU. And Illinois State was alright. I mean, UNI had the best campus out of the three of them, in my opinion. And they also had the best accounting degree. So, like, they're the best accounting program out of those three, and it was pretty good money-wise. So that's kind of a lot of factors.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you giving up a good chunk of your time. It's appreciate you coming on, and maybe we should do this again. Totally.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and if you remember last time, I have this thing where besides your bands, because I'll be nice this one time, and I can put them all down in the description. You have 15. I'm gonna set a timer where you have 15 seconds to share out whatever you want, social, website, Godzilla, whatever you want. Go.
Okay, so follow Braden Sabin on Instagram, Bagel Steak, Bluff Street, Flying Gorilla, 3 and Counting, Mindy's. Just keep an eye out on all those Instagram pages and you'll be fine.